Welcome, fight fans,
to the Fighters Boys Kick-Ass Podcast.
Your Fight Talk Authority.
Not to mention the most entertaining and talked about podcast with your kick-ass host, Richard Ortiz.
You mad? Come at me, bro.
And his loyal kick-ass co-host, Senor Cole Escovedo.
Streaming live and worldwide.
Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighters Boys
Kick-Ass Podcast.
Fresno, California, we're live. The Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. If you're not here, you probably got kicked in the ass. We got a great show for you today. Again, we're going to touch up on a recap version of Save Mart Center Combate Americas last Friday's tournament, I want to say. When I say tournament, I'll say everybody that keeps winning, they are always asked back. So in a sense, it is a tournament. It's a tournament of life. In this tournament, you got to keep on winning or put up or shut up. And a lot of people did put up. And part of the game is you just get caught sometimes, but you just got to strap it on and keep going forward. A loss, I don't call it a loss. I call it a life lesson. Also, we're going to recap on Toscano Boxing Promotions. Took over the 209. Stockton, California was hot as you know what, as hot as outside. Today with us, we have the young, the brash, Adrian. I will never, ever, ever throw in the towel. He's making his pro debut this weekend. And correct me if I'm wrong. What is it? Is it like X Games? Is it BMX? Is it Indy 500? I can go on and on because this guy's about to take it to the road, my man. I want to make sure I get this stuff straight. I want to educate people out on the streets, man, because I'm hearing that you are just going from 0 to 120 in less than 4 seconds. Is that safe to say? Something to that effect?
Yeah, that's about right.
Welcome to the show, my man, first of all.
Thank you.
Have you met Cole Escovedo, the co-host with the most?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, we've been chatting it up for a little while, talking about content to cover.
Oh, content to cover. You know, I'm hearing like you're just hearing, I'm getting back paperwork from people, and they're saying you're just this rush, this like daredevil, so to speak, that you just don't give a flying freak, man. You just strap it on and move forward, and you like things that in motion that move fast, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, tell us about yourself. First of all, how old are you, man? Because you look like you're 12, man.
I asked him that same thing.
Did you?
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm 15 right now. I'll be turning 16 this week.
Turning 16. So tell us all about you, man.
So, right now I'm a professional racer. So,
Do you make your debut this weekend?
correct.
All right. Where's this taking place at?
Sonoma Raceway.
Sonoma Raceway. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say,
What time's the event going on?
Say that again.
What time does the event start?
So, the days are actually August 10th and 11th. So Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
kind of
Oh,
like
there
a weekend event run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you say it's your pro, are you making your pro debut, or have you
Making.
Would you,
yeah,
okay,
correct.
so you wouldn't consider yourself a pro now. You'd be like similar to Camo.
Oh, okay.
Right now he's like,
Yeah.
he's about to fight for the 559 fights title.
Okay, yeah.
And the second he does it,
fight for an amateur company.
So this will be his first.
Yeah.
Gonna have
Yeah.
all that handled. Here's his first pro fight at like the Tachi.
I just try to cover that real fast.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's
I hear you.
that's
Yeah.
be the way I would explain it to our viewers is to compare the things of it's his first pro fight. He's got amateur fights, but it's his first pro paid fight. So you're actually being paid. You've got sponsors.
Oh yeah, I got sponsors.
Well, tell us about the whole story, man. Where it began? I mean, when you were little, you like bicycles, or you just like going fast? You love dirt bikes, or you love the challenge, or what exactly intrigued you to pursue this?
So just growing up as a kid, I was mainly around cars.
Okay.
My brother and my older brother and my dad, they were big car enthusiasts. So,
Okay.
just growing up, I was always around, nice sports cars and nice supercars. But, cars, they never really made me happy as a bike.
Okay.
So, if I'm sure you guys could tell, there is a lot of difference. There is a big difference of driving a car fast and riding a motorcycle fast.
What made you choose a bike? What intrigued you to say, you know what, I'm going to try this bike, a motorbike of all things? How old were you the first time you got on that piece of machinery?
14.
14.
Okay,
Oh, so just
You've
recently.
been doing
Yeah,
it for
yeah.
a year now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow, you got this rush in you, man. Kind of fearless, right?
Yeah.
Makes it sound like the shelf life is short, man. I got to
guess
do it now.
so,
I'm gonna be
man.
be
Yeah.
15. I got to get on it.
Yeah.
But like you said, what made you pick? Because you said your dad and your brother had the interest in cars, so obviously you were drawn towards engines of some kind. Things going fast. What made you kind of go? I like the way that car looks, but man, this bike. Since it was a year ago, I mean,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
young. You're super young. I got a 17-year-old, so you're super young.
Just choosing a motorcycle, it's the way you have to work with it to be able to lean the bike over.
More hands-on,
Yeah.
more you control the bike, or otherwise the bike's going to control you kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Where a
yeah.
car, you can just stop and there's a big old wall around you.
Yeah, yeah.
And dude, that's a cool, I'm looking up at the monitor right now, and that's a cool poster. I also like that logo up to the far right with the wings and that little rim.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
That's
that
some cool deal right
your
there. Okay.
your racing team then?
Yeah, yeah.
What's the name of your racing team?
Cali Shine Racing?
Cali Shine Racing. I like it.
Oh, that's the whole team there.
so.
Well,
how-
that's a great picture right there.
how
Who
many
took
guys
those
are on the
pictures,
team?
man?
There's about, let's say, about like 9 or 10 guys on the team.
Coach, check out that picture. I didn't mean to interrupt. That's a cool picture right there. Who
That
took
is
that
cool.
picture?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, they did a good job.
So you said you started when you were 14.
Correct.
When you say started, do you like fighters? They'll train twice a day, 6 days a week. When you're doing your training, what does it consist of?
My training, it consists of, it's most people think that, if you're riding a bike, you need a lot of endurance, which is true. But you don't really need, you would say, a lot of muscle, just a lot of endurance. So, I don't really have a workout schedule, but, every day I'll just, hop on a treadmill and just start running and just get the endurance up.
I mean more in the sense of like, how often are you on the bike? How many days a week? How many times a day? Like, is it a daily thing? You're like, I'm on the bike running laps, practicing my leans, practicing, slow down, speed ups, things like that, working on your timing. Nothing, just roll them dice and go, when are we racing? Let's go.
No, it's not really scheduled. It's it's just events that come up. Like if we have a track day, it's pretty much my practice day, my training day. So we'll go to track days, maybe like once every 2 weeks. So
Oh, okay. So it's not, you don't get as much, is that as much practice time as you feel you'd like to have? I mean,
I wish I could be on the bike every day if I can.
how would you increase that time? What does track day consist of? Everybody has to wait till they all chip in and you guys can afford to rent the track for a certain amount of hours? What's it consist of doing?
So what a track day is that if a track day provider actually has to throw an event. So, let's just take, for example, Bunt Willow Raceway, which is just down south. A track day provider, they have to throw an event there, and then you have to like show up, and then you have to just register, of course. And
What's your calendar like? I mean, as far as you, I know you're booked this week, and what's your calendar like? Are you booked all year? Do you have a season, or is it continued all year long?
It's all year long.
All year long. So even in the winter, or do you look for an indoor track?
So in the wintertime, up north where it gets cold at night, we usually travel down south to towards the desert, so where it's not as cold.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, give us some names. Like, who are the top? Like, I'll say the top guys in MMA. My personal thing, I'll say, I like Conor McGregor. I like GSP. I like Cowboy. I like dudes who just freaking really throw down. So when you're driving, who are the guys that motivate you? Who are the the big names in your sport?
So the big names in motorcycle racing,
Yeah.
It's going to be in MotoGP. So MotoGP is kind of like MMA, like the top level.
Top level.
So one big name that I really look up to is Marc Marquez.
Marc Marquez?
Yeah, he's the best motorcycle racer in the world right now.
Yeah.
And Valentino Rossi, they're like the best motorcycle racers. Yeah.
Okay.
So I look up to them a lot.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they won some tournaments. They won some championships.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the way it's done?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, right. Well, right on, man. I mean, because everybody has an influence in their life. Everybody paves the way for another rider or another fighter, so to speak. I just wanted to know, man. I wanted to pick your brain out there because I really couldn't tell you who the best is in driving, in motorcycle driving. But it's just knowing that you're here. So I'm going to be rooting for you, man. I'm going to be following you too. Because I mean, what I want you to do, if you could, or have your pops do it, is keep us informed on your tournament. I'm on this race this Sunday, man.
Okay.
Let us know. I want to know what's going on, and if it's somehow streamed or pictures, keep us informed, man. Because I'm excited to hear more about it, man.
Like, how's the bracket? Like normal wrestling tournament, it's like 2 falls and you're out kind of thing. Is it just one race? Do you race multiple times over the weekend? Is it only you race on Saturday and only if you win X amount of races will you race on Sunday? How's it work?
So it's different for different clubs. So what I'll be doing this week is actually for Moto America. So you have 1 race a day.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guaranteed. If you could get your bike registered and ready for the race. So say if Saturday you went out during the race and you crashed, if you could get your bike fixed
if you
in
can
time
fix
for
it.
Sunday, then you
Okay.
can race Sunday.
Okay, so you're guaranteed at least one race each day, provided you can supply a bike to race on.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, and then so you said you're going pro, so you have sponsors. Would they pay for the entry fees on those? Do they pay for like your trailer so you can travel and get the bike down there, or how's it work?
I'm actually not too sure how my sponsors work, but
Man, you're killing me. You're the writer. You should know this.
my job is just to go fast on the track. I don't really.
Well, okay,
Okay.
I can get behind that, but remember, you've only been this in a year. Do you plan on going into sport as long as possible?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then your, I wouldn't say attitude, but your perspective of that approach should change, and it should change drastically since you're about to go pro. Just for the simple fact that if you don't keep yourself educated, you watch the show The Boys?
No.
Okay. Well, it's about, I won't spoil too much, but about superheroes in the real world who get rights to merchandise.
Yeah.
And they bicker and they argue over it because they know they're getting robbed. Someone's selling knockoffs on the street or something. That's money they're losing. The reason you should concern yourself with that is for a couple reasons. One, if you ever want to increase your track time, instead of relying on somebody that's having a track day, you find sponsors that cumulatively can put on a track day themselves, who can forfeit the money to rent the track for the day and say, look, we're going to, as a group, we're going to put on a track day. Come on down and train. Your sponsor does that for you, depending on the cost, once a week or every other week. This increases your time on the track, therefore you can get better. It'd be like if any time I could train at the gym was when a gym had an open mat. Nobody would get better.
Exactly.
So that's the only reason I say that you should be more hands-on. Like you should be just as passionate about the writing itself as the business side. Because you got to remember that your writing is what's going to lead to the business side success of your brand, of your team, of your image, of your cost, of your sponsors, of your ability to make money doing what you love. Remember, love what you do. You never work a day in your life. That's my man right here.
Exactly.
So if you want to get to that point to where like, I love writing and it sustains my livelihood, it's like surfing for a living, okay? Fighting for a living. You know, you have to have these means of income. So it means you have to get as passionate about it
And
as you are
knowledgeable.
the writing part.
He's knowledgeable. Ask a lot of questions, man. Because I don't want you to fall into, I'm not saying it's still early in your career. There was a boxer, his name was Tim Witherspoon, and he was asked to sign several contracts. And every contract he signed were blank. They were all blank. And he got robbed literally of millions of dollars. True story.
Wow.
I mean, his promoter at the time was Don King. So he signed blank contracts.
Why am I not
a
surprised?
contract given to him and signed. So I'm not saying this is going to happen to you, but ask. Say, hey, I'm just curious. How much does our team have to raise in order to compete in this tournament? Okay.
Or to do a track day or
And then
something.
start looking at yourself and say, okay, well, man, I want to visit this country or this place, and they also have a tournament this day, or they have a tournament on my birthday. Open yourself up, ask all these questions, educate yourself. I know at the end of the day, hey, I just want to go fast. Of course, that's one side of you. That's what one day you'll get paid to do and win. But there's also that business side that you ask questions, and if you don't know, ask questions. You can even help your team, because once you're done promoting yourself here on this show, you're going to get on Instagram and say, hey, make sure you catch me on The Fighter's Voice, catch my story. This is what I do. This is what I love to do. And you know what? If you want to sponsor somebody who goes fast, hey, this is my email, this is my website, et cetera, and you're going to be surprised at so many people that hit you. And I can guarantee, because this show is blessed, you're going to have some sponsors hit you up. You're going to have some life lessons along the way, and you're going to have some victory along the way, because this show is just, hey, people that come on the show have a very high success rate. Even though if they lose a battle, right, they win the war. It's a lesson, and then doors just continue to open up. But you got to ask and knock on those doors, man. Listen to my man here, because he's always giving away free advice, and I get on him sometimes, and I'm telling him, man, you can get paid for this stuff, because he's just not giving it out just to give it out. He knows, he's been there. He's been on both sides, the dry side and the wet side and the championship side. But it comes by asking and educating yourself. Okay. If you ask me who the hottest podcast show is out there, I'll tell you. And if I don't mention them, it's probably because I know they're there, but I'm not going to concern myself with them. I want to know what's going on, what people like, what's the rawness about this activity. I'm excited because you're on here. I'm challenged because you're on here. You're not a fighter, you're not a boxer, you're not an MMA artist, but you're a fighter when it comes to getting on that bike, educating yourself, winning this race, increasing your story, and we're part of your journey, man. Straight up. We'll never throw in the towel.
He gets really passionate. You don't mind him. He gets really passionate.
Oh, I do, man. I love
because he
it.
believes in everything he says, because he wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. And that's just where he gets passionate. So you got to remember, it's like we could tell you things like, yeah, let pops worry about it, let big bro, let mom, dad, whatever. But the thing is, though, you're already at that age where you can benefit from those life lessons anyway, and they're just waste. Like, I mean, even if you get tire sponsors out of it, that's money you didn't spend on tires. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I know. I've been wanting to ask that too.
Right? Like, what costs what?
How much tires thread do you guys go through? How often you got to change your tires out, man?
It's usually the rear burns faster than the front.
Shocker.
Yeah.
So 2 rears usually for 1 weekend, and the front,
wow.
yeah, the front will still be good for another week.
And I didn't mean to interrupt you, Cole. I just had to ask this, man, because it was open. What's your team consist of? You have a team, right? Just based on for you?
No, everyone on my team, they all ride themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So everybody kind of helps each other out.
Yeah, everyone, it's
like the Avengers. They all got their own movies going
Yeah.
on, and then it's
Oh,
race
God.
day, assemble. Yeah. So you guys don't really
They made money with that.
meet up otherwise, and it's like training day at the track or something.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Okay, so you guys do ride. You get to ride regularly with the
Yeah.
rest of the team. Then okay, well that's good. Then that's good for having good morale and stuff when you're on the trail and stuff. And plus, honestly, if you have 9 guys that are all thinking the same way, that's 9 different people hustling for sponsors, for team sponsors and stuff. Mikey would be like, hey, dude, I got a guy that'll pay for our tires. At every race, he'll pay for our tires. Susan will be like, hey, I got a guy that said he'll pay for, whatever the gas is going to be cost. He says he'll give us a Valero card with like $500 on it for gas and travel or whatever. Things like that, that starts to shorten that cost. So just take initiative on it. It never hurts. If you're, it's one thing to take initiative when you're making money for someone else. It's another thing when you're taking initiative to invest in what you're already doing. Remember, it's not time and energy you're spending. You're investing in growing. I mean, unless this is just some fun hobby, you're like, I'm going to ride for a while. It's fun now. But honestly, I think I'm going to go be like, something else. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. I'm going to go be a carpenter, or I'm going to go be, retail manager or something. That just, whatever. Then sure. But if you actually say, no, 5 years from now, I plan on still riding. Like, that's what I want to do for my life. Cool. Then you need to think.
What does your family think of it, of you racing?
They're really supportive, my family, and all my cousins and, uncles. Yeah, they think it's pretty cool.
Have they seen you crash yet?
Many times.
Oh, okay, that's even better then.
Oh.
That he can say that and they've seen him go down. Because the first time you go down, that's
Yeah.
it. Mom was probably like, nope, you're done.
Yeah.
Let's go. Pack it up. Put the bike for sale on eBay. You're done. Let's
Yeah,
go get a nice SUV.
Oh,
So-
that's you right there. Is that someone behind you, or is that? Oh, you got a cam behind
Oh,
you.
yeah, I got a
number,
camera behind me.
Is that your number? Number 10?
No.
Oh, who's that right there?
That's me.
Then whose number 10 is that?
That was actually a bad that we misplaced on. So
Okay, so
Number
those,
10?
those come off.
Yeah, those come off.
So
So the
I
numbers come off.
didn't see that number 10 just by coincidence. That's what I'm saying, man.
So he's saying is those side pieces Velcro probably on and off.
Yeah.
You can swap
Oh,
them out
I
for
like
racing.
that. Look at that monitor on the left there.
Look at how sideways he's getting. That's insane. And people say, dude, they say fighting's crazy, like guys like Cerrone.
Oh, look at that
Dude.
there. It's like a video game, man. I want
Right.
the remote right now. Just,
Right?
Yeah.
There, speaking of video game, there was a dude that streamed.
I'm just tripping off that number 10 right there. Really, I am. Never fails. Thank
Right?
you, Richard. Yeah, never fails.
He streamed a UFC and acted like it was a video game so that he wouldn't get in trouble.
Really?
Yeah, he streamed a live UFC
Yeah.
show, but he was a gamer. He put himself down in the corner like he was playing a video game and
Yeah.
streaming. He was like, ooh, ooh. And dude, and there was nothing they could do about it because he's like,
I
no,
guess so.
I was playing the UFC game. You see,
Yeah.
it's so realistic. That'd be such a
Yeah.
long headache. They were like, whatever, dude, just
That was
stop
clean,
it.
though. That was
That's
clean.
dope, though. And people say
I like
I'm
that.
crazy. No, you're going like sideways, like sideways.
And
coming
you
around
can
a
see the
corner.
speed when he's doing it, man.
Yeah, dude, that's insane. The little white and yellow line checkers just. Nah.
So when
I'm
you
good.
get in the zone from the start, or there's just that one time when you just said, you know what, I'm just feeling good. I'm fearless right now. I'm not feeling any fear, just emotion. You just zoned out. From start, towards the end, the middle, and when does that kick in?
can you explain a little bit more?
Okay, when you start your bike, when you just say, hell with the rest, I'm gonna do me.
He's like, I've never been scared.
Yeah,
Could
forget
you-
the
could you-
risk, forget anything. I'm not concerned with any of that. I'm gonna do what it takes to win and to go fast.
I never really had a moment where I was actually scared on the bike because
wow.
I think that was just the way I was born and raised.
You just love that speed, man.
Yeah.
Be more scared of losing
Yeah.
than the consequences of winning.
He's yeah.
That it doesn't get any more than that. He's never
The
been
minute
scared
you
of
start
it.
to think of being scared, you're already fighting yourself. You
Yeah.
already lost. So
Yeah.
he's trying to win. And
With,
I
yeah,
like
with that kind of sport,
Yeah.
you can't be scared
No.
to, You can't be scared because last time I dipped that. Dude, you got to be like, I dipped it last time and it worked before that. It just didn't work that time. Dip it, go. So that level of fear has got to be pretty cool. That's a rarity.
What's the fastest you ever went, man?
My bike tops out at 125.
125?
Yeah.
But is that the fastest you've ever been, though? You said your bike tops out at 125.
I've been faster, yeah.
That's what he's asking. What's the fastest you've ever been?
I've been about 170 on a 1000.
God, dude. With no box around you, no roll cage.
No timeouts.
Was that all straight away?
Yeah, that was just all straight away. Yeah.
At what point do you start to feel the bike, you're going too fast? Like you start to feel the bike come up, like the wind's starting to push you up.
So usually bikes are pretty aerodynamic. The front tire usually won't come up due to wind.
Okay.
It'll usually come up due to torque. Because the bike is so light.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're only like 350 pounds.
So it'll be user error. You crank it too much and it'll go up because it's lighter than the back end. Yeah. Okay. So you could do 200, whatever. Bike's just going to be like, yeah, let's go.
Oh,
That's insane, dude.
They're built for speed. So, you could just be going 200 miles per hour and you could just be like this.
What's the fastest you've ever wrecked at?
What was it?
What's the fastest you've ever gone down at?
I actually high-sided at Thunder Hill at 100 miles per hour. So
What's high-sided? That doesn't even sound good. What's high-sided?
So high-siding is when your rear tire slides out, it regains traction and throws you off the bike.
Oh, okay.
So,
it just says yeet, like a horse throwing you.
Yeah,
You're done. Get off me.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So basically, it's you. Okay. So your ass end gets loose, and then your bike just basically stops. It's like you're hitting a wall, and you just go.
And you just go.
Wow.
And you get thrown in there. You do maybe like a couple flips in there.
So now, what causes that? You coming around a curve too fast?
You could either lock up the rear brake too much, or just too much throttle where your rear tire slides out.
Okay.
Because when we race with slicks, and they're pretty sticky. So when they regain traction in the wrong direction, that's when it could go bad.
Oh, okay. Because it's going to cool down between when you're spinning on it and when it cools down enough for you to grip again incorrectly, I would say. Dude. So what happened when you got tossed? Did you break anything?
No.
You young kids, man. Swear to God, you young kids, your bodies are like rubber.
A lot of people, they think that motorcycle racing is pretty dangerous. To me, it's the gear, what we wear. We have our helmet and then we have our suit that is 100% leather. So it is super heavy.
Is it heavy or bulky or any of the above? Or you
It's
just
not
gotta
really.
get used to it?
It's not really bulky. It's super heavy.
Oh,
You
super heavy.
get used to weight. If a regular person just threw it on a motorcycle racing gear on, then it'll be like, how are you supposed to move in this?
This would probably be the equivalent of tossing on like 30-pound football pads. It'd be unorganized at first and feel heavy. You wouldn't really know how to adjust to it. And after a while, you get used to carrying the weight, just like a weight vest or something. When you said with all the gear and everything, we were talking earlier that I was trying to equate that a stuntman, and like I tell people, first thing is when you get shot in on, don't reach for the ground. You do that, you're going to end up breaking your elbow or your wrist or your forearm. One of them is going to give. I was saying like a stuntman learns how to fall correctly, like a fighter learns how to fall. I imagine you had to learn like how to fall correctly in multiple different scenarios of if you get tossed off this way, if you go over ass end, if you get hit from behind or something, if you hit a wall first. How many different ways have you had to learn to just go with a fall on a bike at like 100 plus miles an hour?
So there's a little bit of difference of you mentioning a stuntman and actually crashing on a motorcycle, because being a stuntman, you could actually tell when you're gonna go down.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so there's times where you don't know.
No, you don't know until you're actually on the ground.
Oh, okay.
So what most people do is that they try to lift up their head or they try to curl up into a little ball. But the best thing to do when you're going down on a motorcycle, just to just slide it out pretty much until you can't slide it more.
Okay, so no roll with it, no roll against it, just
go with it.
I guess it's like getting clipped in a fight. You don't get knocked out until you know you got knocked out. You don't know you got thrown until you get thrown.
Hey man, I'm getting ready to freaking try to get this guy in Fear Factor or something, man. I mean, because
Dude, I
I'm
know,
looking
right?
at the speed there. He doesn't care. He says, "I'm really not afraid," and that's good because that keeps you sharp. That keeps you going, man. So, what does bring fear to you? Is there anything in life that brings fear to you, or makes you respect whatever it is that you're facing?
Fear, it's not really crashing, because crashing is just part of the sport.
Otherwise, it doesn't have to be riding.
It could be anything in life. Like,
I mean, fear, like maybe swimming,
girls,
bulls,
heights, something.
Yeah.
Fear would probably be not accomplishing any of my goals. Yeah, that's something I fear a lot. But
Okay.
Something that I imagine
So
feels...
roller coasters aren't nothing to you, right?
All right, height, he's like, nah, we're good.
no, I think we're good.
So like you'd run with the bulls in Pamplona, you go to Spain, you'd run with the bulls. But no, it sounds like it's a good fear to have. It's not something that you have to physically worry about. Like heights, you have to physically worry about going up a ladder.
Well, I think honestly, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you're just having fun, so you're not feeling any fear. You're having fun doing what you're doing. Is that what it is? The rush, the fun, I can't wait, that type thing. So if you're not out there driving, if you're not out there practicing, what do you do? What do you do besides get on a bike?
I BMX a lot.
You be what?
BMX.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Are you currently racing in that at all? You currently
No. It's just like
It's
a
just
little
for
hobby.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to the skate park and stuff.
No, not really. I
No?
just just BMX. I just do little stuff like wheelies and just.
See, what you do is we get a guy like you that does racing, and we get him to like get everybody behind this idea for an indoor skate park at like the Manchester Mall when the new owners take over.
Yeah.
Things like that. That'd be fun.
Or just get this guy out there when these guys are out there racing on a bike and just be a ringer. Just say, oh, how many gears does it have? How fast does it go?
Which way do I put the pedals?
Yeah, do I need a helmet? And then put the helmet on backwards. And then I'll just sit back and say, hey, I got 500 on this guy.
500 guy. See that kid with the helmet on backwards?
Yeah.
500 on him.
Yeah. Remember, like, White Man Can't Jump? He
Dude.
just showed up.
You
just
get
hey,
jumped.
we'll make some money, man. We'll split the cost, and then the other half will go into your team, and the other half will come over here, man. We'll make some money. Let's go hit the streets, man.
He wants to side hustle
He's over
your
there.
bike
He's
skills.
over there beating adults and stuff. You know what I mean?
Dude, you get so... He wants to turn your skill into a hustle. I love it.
No, man. I'm just having fun, man.
It's like
always
Johnny
good to have-
Knoxville rigging the Special Olympics.
Yeah, you got to have fun along the way. I'm going to change things up real quick. Speaking of having fun along the way, my man, Big Al Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Man, great victory. And we're talking about the Combate Americas that took place at Seymour Center last Friday. We're talking about MMA fighters, man. We had a guest on the show, Big Al Gonzalez. And his professional debut, he lost. So he was 0-1 going in. So not only did he have to, get back in the win column, but he had to look impressive. And impressive indeed he did look. Talk to us about that, Cole, because I know you were breaking it down round by round. And at first he was kind of in trouble on the ground, but I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, Al was his goal.
What did
was
you see
kinda
in that
use
fight?
Reach was a big plan for what it looked like, because at one point he just kind of stiff armed him.
I like when he tried to throw the go-home punch, that big right.
Yeah, the big brother punch kind of thing.
It sent a message.
Yeah. At one point, it looked like the game plan kind of went a little sideways for him. Like his opponents, I keep forgetting about the other guy's name.
Yeah.
It seemed like his aggressiveness was to kind of just bull rush him and get in real close and get his hands on him.
And that's what he tried to do.
And that's what his whole goal was, to get him down and bring him down. But when he was able to stay on top and stuff, it was like Night of the Rear Naked Chokes, though. That was
Yes.
ridiculous. It was super Night of the Rear Naked Chokes.
I'm tired of people saying that. What the hell does that mean?
Dude, that was...
Did you see that? Did you hear that, rather?
I saw that. I
hear it all the time on MMA, on UFC, on Bellator. What the hell does that mean? Explain to me. I'm tired of it.
That was hilarious. I couldn't tell which way to take that. I couldn't tell if that was just third-party ribbing or if that was a genuine... Because when I looked at who
You
it
gave him a
was...
definition 1A.
Well, yeah, but when I looked at who it was, that's why I couldn't tell if it was a joke or not. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you of all people should know what that is. Like,
Yeah.
you were... If you're who you say you were, you're one of the grandfathered
It's
in guys of
okay
the sport.
for a boxing analyst, so to speak, to use the term rear naked choke.
Yeah,
okay?
totally.
It's like if you're MMA and say, oh, yeah, he got knocked out. Okay, so that means either or.
Yeah, but how? What happened? You're like,
Yeah.
well, he took a right cross after that 3-piece in a soda that he threw to the body. Dude, no. But that's why I don't know whether to take that comment
Well, that was
seriously. I
okay.
just answered
You answered it very well.
Yeah, I answered it the best way I could
No, that
because
was a great answer.
I would try to be as specific as possible because I kind of felt
I'm
like
going
it
to
was
save that because I'm going to send it to people. Look, there it is there. There it is, 1A.
But, I could see a lot of commentators in his experience maybe throwing that around there, and later he realizes you have no clue what that means. And he's like, oh, it's this move. And I've seen people do that too. They're like, oh, he's got him in this. I'm like, that's not what that is, bro.
To me personally, there's certain things that need to be explained
Yeah.
and certain things that don't need to be explained.
just-
If you have to ask this point in the game, that term has been used since the Tito Ortiz ground and pound.
Way before them. That term's been around since NHB, and I guarantee you a lot of people don't even know what NHB is.
Well, probably not.
But that's no holds barred. That's what MMA used to be called.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
exactly.
when it came up from the
Exactly.
ground. So that term's been around since the old days because guys, Golden, they knew what they were talking about back then. They were able to look at it and actually say what it was. But it's your commentators, your analysts, your press guys and stuff who maybe their press coverage is mostly sports.
They can use any
non-combat
terminology
sports.
they want because they know it inside and out.
Yeah.
And they can get away with it. And they're ready for some bozo to ask them a ridiculous question.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyways,
I don't
we're
know.
talking about MMA. So do you watch MMA at all? Do you watch
No.
boxing? Any kind of sports like that?
No, not really. I don't really.
So
watch.
I want you to be prepared because, like in baseball, you get hit with a pitch. You know, you're getting ready to rush the mound. If somebody hits you late out of bounds, hey, you're getting ready to throw down. So what happens when somebody comes right next to you on a bike, man, and almost makes you swerve off?
You
I mean,
know-
are you gonna throw the helmet down and lay hands on them?
No.
Oh, okay,
Because-
you just say, "Gee, thank you, I appreciate that."
Because we've seen NASCAR guys get
Oh,
at it.
they get
like,
out-
They
no,
get
they
too
throw-
close on the ramp.
they
like,
throw down.
They push paint on each other. I've seen them go after each other. So you've never had that feeling, guy to feel like he cut you off short, tried to push you off the line, like you knew that curve
Cheap
was
shot
coming.
you?
Yeah, cheap shot kind of like, like deliberately you can tell he's trying to push you farther out. Like if you don't get pushed out, you're gonna crash.
So the motorcycle community, we're actually a really friendly community because
Okay.
we all know that we're all participating in a super dangerous sport. So we all gotta, everyone's just really
Now, remember that. Just remember that it is a community and everything else, but at some point when you start branching into what can be considered a pro division, there's now money on the line.
Yes.
There's money to be lost. Not that there's money to be won, it's that there's money to be lost. If you don't finish third place today, you lose a $5,000 sponsorship. You have to place in the top 3. If you don't, you're losing a sponsorship. Or it goes from $10,000 to like $3,000 if you don't play.
Yeah.
So there's money to be lost. So these things change. Somebody starts to know if I just push number 9 out a little farther, I can get
Yeah.
around that curve and get ahead of him, and I can finish 4th versus 5th.
The bottom
That's a $3,000
line
difference
is
for me.
when you care about the community, you get $5,000. The guy who don't care about the community, he's getting $25,000. So I just want you to open yourself up to that. So when that does happen, you say, man, I know what Cole was talking about. Yeah, Rich,
Doesn't mean some guy's
okay,
going to
now
kick you off your
exactly.
bike at like
Yeah.
100. But every once in a while,
Yeah.
when there's a difference between you two battling it out for, say, 2nd or 3rd, or 3rd or 4th, so to speak, 3rd or 4th matters a lot more
Yeah, it
to
does.
sponsors, where my guy placed versus my guy didn't place. Him placing puts him on the podium and in front of the cameras. Not placing doesn't. That costs him money and sponsors. Sponsors say, well, look, if you get on TV, I'll give you $10,000. If your fight doesn't get on TV, you're only worth $3,000. That's it. That's the product exposure you can give me. So that's where things like that come into play, that mindset. When a guy's like, dude, I need to place 3rd.
Yeah.
And all I got to do is push number 12 just a little farther out, and I can cut that corner and beat him there. Those decisions are lightning fast, but it's more of, I need 3rd place, is all they think about.
What does matchmaker promoter Richard Goodman say when they were fighting amateur? He said, the top 2, they get pro contracts. Boom, and leaves. He doesn't even know who they are or what they are. These big sponsors says, I want the top 3 guys. I want 10,000 sponsor. I don't care who they are. The guy come battling 3rd and 4th, there's a difference.
Like,
there.
there's
You
4
understand what I'm
races
saying?
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not thinking about community there. And I understand you're a good guy, you're a nice guy, and they're all nice guys and all good guys. They really are. So was Al, because when Al tried to touch his hands, he didn't want nothing to do with him. You remember that? Did you see that? And Al goes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said too much. That was a very...
He was barking the whole way, too.
Yeah, that was a very
was chirping.
side story filled fight, I imagine. I imagine there was some very side story arc to that match.
You know what? That matchup was probably like 10 years in the making.
Something. That's what I'm saying. Is like I said, there's a story arc there that I don't really know if we want to go into
exactly.
on the screen.
You,
but
you had 2 Vadios going at it.
Yeah,
Plain
kind
and
of.
simple.
Simple
Plain and
as that,
simple,
dude. But
man.
he kind of got...
Look at my man right there.
Yeah, see, once he got on top, he kind of knew he was going to finish him off, and at that point, you're just trying to scare the ref. You're trying to throw punches and bunches and make as many of them land as possible.
Dude, he reminds me of a Diaz brother.
Yeah, no,
Nate,
yeah,
he
dude,
does.
with that length,
Yes, he
and
does.
that aggressiveness, yes.
Speaking of Diaz brother, okay, I'm going to change it up real quick. Toscano's boxing promotion Saturday was explosive. Guess who was in the crowd? Just chilling with his hat backwards. He grabbed the fighter's voice post and he shared it.
Oh,
Yeah, Nate Diaz, man.
oh,
just
cool.
chilling.
Nice, I like that.
He smelled like Stockton, too.
Oh yeah, when you guys were doing the boxing event,
Oh,
yeah,
no, he smelled like
Well,
Stockton.
yeah.
And that's okay. He's in a fight in 2 weeks. It was all good.
that's not a problem for him anymore.
No,
That's such
no.
yeah. Anybody,
No.
if I see people that actually bring that up in questions about it, only questions should be geared towards. So now that they're getting involved in that market, are you going to get any of that money? You know what I mean? Like now that you've basically, he was the one that opened the door for that cross market exposure and people to see it and go, oh shit, I never thought about that. You know what I mean? To have those
Yeah.
2 markets cross over
Yeah.
legally and safely. So now that happened, I'd be Nate Diaz going, where's my cut? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
quiet, short to the point, you know? Because he's the
Exactly.
one that took the balls to do it.
Yeah.
He's the one that took the risk. He's the one that took the
Exactly.
gamble and actually used that CBD pen that was
Yeah.
totally fine right there in front of everybody. He
Mm-hmm.
took that step. They probably talked about it, but at the end of the day, it was Nate that went and did it, and he's the one that opened that door for the UFC to eventually go, hey.
Speaking of that, without getting into real detail, have there ever been a sponsor that was offered to you and you go, nah, I'm not gonna, I got to turn that one down?
I'm not too sure. to be
Oh,
honest.
okay. Okay. Again, you're not. Okay. Make
Who
sure
deals with the sponsors
Yeah,
for
make
you?
sure you're a part of the sponsorships. Okay, because you
Like,
know.
who handles that currently for you? Pops? Okay. So, I mean, and like I
Okay.
said, a lot of time when kids are like,
He
like,
is
like
15. I forgot.
take Jennifer. Well, take Jennifer for example. She's just going back to school and she's like in the 8th grade. My advice to her would be like, be involved, but let your parents handle that. Like, they know more about that stuff than someone of your age. But you being about 15 and stuff, I would say more so for the fact that we talk to you in a sense of, yeah, we could just say, yeah, let dad handle that stuff. But we always are going to direct you in the approach that you're old enough to where you should be involved in that stuff. Like, that's where you're coming at that age, going pro. Doesn't mean you have to know everything and all of it and be involved in everything. But realistically, to brand yourself and sell yourself easier, whenever you're discussing meetings with sponsors, like, you should be there. Like, even if it's just a meet and greet for 10 minutes, it's just
Yeah.
him and your dad
An
talking.
introduction. They
They're
wanna
just trying
see-
to meet. You should be there.
Yeah.
You should be there for the negotiations. Like, you should physically be on hand for that stuff because it goes to show that you're invested in not just saying, oh, I'd love to have your money. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's showing that I would like to build a partnership with you. Yes, it involves you giving me money. Here's what I'm going to try to deliver to you as far as advertising of your product. I'm here because I'm invested in that. I'm invested in your success because your success equals my success, because the more successful you are, you can have more money, more training time, more practice, better gear, et cetera, and so forth. It's a symbiotic relationship. You being there on all stages of that just shows your commitment to it. It's not just, hey, you want to sponsor me for new tires? Thanks, good looking out. Okay, hey, you want to sponsor? No, and that's how it was in the dark ages. Like, you kind of had to do that. There was just not a lot of people blowing money on it at the time unless you were like on pay-per-view and stuff. So you just have to show that you're invested in it. I mean, that's why he was asking, have you ever been approached by someone where you were like, you know, always work with stuff that you'd have no problem going, yeah, dude, I endorsed them 100%, you know?
Yeah. You can't even give examples anymore without offending people or having to give a public apology. So I don't even want to throw different situations out.
Yeah,
man.
no, it's hard. It's really
I
hard,
really
man.
don't. But I will ask you this: what is it that you want to accomplish? What is your goal in the sport?
So right now, I'll be doing Moto America. I plan on staying in Moto America for 2 years maximum.
Okay.
And then after that, my plan after the Moto America is actually going to World Superbike, which isn't the highest level racing.
Yeah.
But World Superbike, they travel all around the world.
Oh wow, that'd be a great gig.
That's where,
Yeah. Where you based out of? Are you from Fresno?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right on. Fresno zone, man. 559, baby.
There better be something 559 on your bike or your helmet or something,
Yeah.
man. Like,
Yeah.
you got to have especially if you go out of country.
Yeah.
You definitely, if you go out of country, you need to have like the 559 on there
559
somewhere.
Racing, something.
That says you're from Fresno. It goes well with your fans. Like,
Any sponsors, yeah.
Any sponsors, fans. It's just, plus it's fun for somebody to say, hey, I saw this bike, and somebody seeing a picture, be like, dude, that's his bike. I saw it on. It's got the 559 logo on it. Could be a team thing, morale booster, things like that. Just little things like that. They go a long way, like super long way. I remember the first time we saw Josh Koscheck fight, and it was the first time we ever saw Fresno, California on the UFC. Like, but we've all seen it locally and representing Fresno.
Where did you see it on the
know?
shorts or the backdrop?
No, it was on the screen.
Oh wow!
It was,
nice.
it was Josh Koscheck,
okay, out of Fresno,
fighting out of Fresno,
Okay, yeah.
California.
That was a big deal.
It was huge. We lost our stuff because it was just so cool.
Yeah, it was cool
to finally see Fresno like on a pay-per-view UFC level stuff. We're like, dude.
Do you remember the what was that drive-in? The one with the 4 cinemas, the one with the
Madera
4 screens.
drive-in?
No, Fresno.
Oh, on Clovis Avenue.
Yeah, what was it called? Something 4. Woodward Park Drive-In or something like that.
Something like that.
Well, anyways.
Oh, you're thinking of the one way up in River Park?
No.
Where
where it used to be
Malibu
River
Grand Prix
Park.
used to be.
Yeah, those 4 screens, and you had to
I
put
don't
up to your
remember what the name
antenna.
of that was. Yeah, you know.
Well,
yeah.
I remember we're watching Karate Kid Part 2, and he says, "No, Mom, I don't want to go to Fresno." He said something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They
And
talk
everybody
about
was
Fresno in the
honking their
movie.
horn. Everybody was just going crazy just to hear. And he said Fresno.
Or they were moving from Fresno or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's like, I want to go back to Fresno or something. Everyone's like,
Yeah,
bullshit. That's how we know you're fake. You're a liar. No.
Yeah.
But it's good, especially when you go global. That's where your real sponsors will matter, because you'll have to get your gear there. You'll have to get your bike there.
Fast lives matter.
Yeah,
I like
dude.
that. I like that.
That
They do.
is actually a really good slogan
Yeah.
for driver
For
awareness.
doing what he's doing.
Yeah, dude, that's actually really good for like street bike riders. Just
Throw
driver
that
awareness.
on there, man. Just give props to the Fighter's Voice, man, because that's what we do, man. We help each other out.
Give away free content, free
Yeah.
info. It's hilarious. I don't know why we do it.
No more free stuff anymore.
Dude, I'm just gonna. When people come on the show, I'm like, dude, that's gonna be like $25. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I thought we were just
It
talking.
is.
Yeah, we
It
were,
is.
but I was on the clock.
It is. So, what's your biggest challenge on the bike, man?
Can you explain a little bit more?
What's your biggest challenge? Like, you're on the bike and you're like, oh man, this is always kind of difficult for me. I always got to challenge myself. I'd be at my best and able to do this move, to turn to the left or to the right, going 80 miles per hour. What's your biggest challenge on there?
You know, probably one of the biggest challenges, you know, when you're fighting for a podium finish, and you're either chasing the third place guy or the first place guy, and you know that he's a little bit faster than you, but you know you're not really gonna give up yet, and you're gonna continue chasing him. But his skill level is actually a lot better than yours, and you know, if you're trying to chase a faster guy and you don't have that skill, kind of like if you guys were boxing,
Yeah.
if you're trying to fight someone that
It's just better than you. They're just ahead of you one step.
Yeah.
They're getting to the jab first. They're just one step ahead of you. Yeah.
So, you know, if you're chasing someone a lot faster, you know, you have a lot close counters of going down. So,
Yeah, that's true. Now, do you find yourself when you're in that now brings it back to that podium chase? You're just chasing for a podium chase right now.
Yeah.
Now, imagine if there was a $5,000 difference on that podium chase. Just
Yeah.
remember, that scenario will change now. But the push, how do you do it? Do you try to follow their line? Are you looking to be just outside of their line so that you can find an opening and go? What's the best course when you're really chasing that, podium spot?
so there's a lot of different ways to pass another rider is to either outbreak them, go into the corner before him, or like how you were mentioning earlier, doing a block pass where you kind of push them out wide.
Yeah. See, so that's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah.
See, that's a thing.
So
So
now it's coming out, man.
Yeah.
And actually, by the way, that was a great sound bite. Every fighter has a voice. When you're talking about fighting for position, fighting in this, and you are, because even though you're not in the ring or the octagon, you're fighting for something in your life, for your goals, from fourth to get to third. So that's perfect.
There's a
Every
win there.
fighter has a voice.
that,
Yes, sir.
that win, that push, that competition. Like there's a win in there for doing it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
But
so during that statement, what went right out the window? Community went right out the window. Now, you feel me now?
Yeah.
Now you're starting to
I
understand.
know you don't
it's
want to hurt
kinda-
them, but
it's
you're like,
kinda-
man, I really want third place, not fourth. I'm just going to come a little wide.
You know, it's a lot with, you guys with boxing, I mean,
Yeah.
in the ring, you kind of want to kill each other, but,
Yeah.
when you're not
I
fighting.
want to beat you, but I don't want to punch you in the esophagus to do it. But I want to hurt you. Yeah, same thing. You're not trying to do it to hurt him, but you know that if I go wider, it's going to force him to go wider, and that's going to slow him down because I can get inside the next curve faster than he can.
Yeah.
And that's the strategy behind it. That's the competitive mindset. You're never going to be able to get around that. You're always going to be like, if I do it, I can get third. If I don't, I'm going to get fourth. It's the competitive thing in you. You're never going to be able to ignore that. You want to win. That's all there is to it.
But I understand where you're coming from about, maybe it's like a sponsorship deal or something where if you don't place this,
It can be an existing concern that it's in split seconds though, because your brain will think, dude, third place or you're losing $5,000. Like the competitiveness will be overridden by that process, and it will turn that into the competitive reason.
That may
for
not
why.
even be a sponsor. That may just be a prize money.
could be prize money,
It'll
yeah.
be 25,000, 15,000, and then 10,000, and then you go 3,000, 3,000,
if
3,000,
If you
2,000.
place, you move on to the finals of some big ass tournament or something. Like there could be a lot riding on that.
Exposure.
Where first place is like $100,000. It's not the numeric value. It's the concept that money changes things, but the competitive aspect you'll never be able to change. The only problem is that once money becomes involved, that will override your competitiveness, not in the sense of community and I like to be straight edge competitive. I want to win because I won, not because I felt like I cheated. All that's going to get overridden, and it's going to get turned into your competitive drive. It's going to be like, no, dude, if I push you out, I get third, not fourth. I'm placing. I'm not losing. Because if you don't place, you see it as a loss in your head, and that's where your competitiveness
You don't
will
place, you don't
override.
advance.
Exactly. You don't move. You're done. Your tournament's done. If you don't push him out, you're out.
Yeah.
So that competitive drive to win is gonna get fueled, and it's gonna override that sense of, I don't want to push him out. So no, goodbye, I'm going.
But when you are chasing a faster guy, and you would say you're battling for third or something, it is better to finish than to not finish.
Of course.
Absolutely.
If you don't podium, nobody knows your name that day.
Absolutely. In the boxing MMA world, if you don't knock him out, he's going to knock you out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what life. We're not telling you to go out there deliberately. But see, we can say it over and over again. You're going to find out for yourself. You're going to realize, man, I really want that new bike because they're giving that prize. I know I got it. I'm leading the whole race. And then
placing isn't even money. It's a bike.
It just slips out of your fingers. So you say to yourself the next time, it's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
So that's just a lesson along the way, and you'll get it yourself, and you'll get all this. It'll register. So probably giving you too much where you're going, dude, what the hell are you talking about? I'm not trying to throw something that somebody spoke or something to that effect, but you'll get it, and you'll know what we're talking about, man. We're letting you know because we've been in that race before, whether it's life, the cage, or whatever it is.
The day fourth place comes up to you and goes, what the hell, dude? That's when you'll know there's what we're trying to explain exists, because fourth place will come up and be like, dude, why are you cutting me off like that? Why'd you push me out? Because I got third place and you didn't. Like, that's your answer at that point, because I wanted third place and you were in my way. No. And you know what I mean? That might have cost him $5,000.
No,
you know what I mean?
He's really, it is still not going to register.
No.
Until that hottie says, nah, dude, you didn't win. You didn't take third. I'm going with dude over there. And then it's like, nah, man, let's do it again.
Right, let's run it back. Let's hold on. Let's go again.
Let's run it back.
No, but that's cool. It's I like that your drive is geared by the fact that, well, this leads to this, and I can get to start to travel the world. I mean, there's lots of fun places to see. Like, I've been to Japan twice because of fighting other parts of the country, and I wouldn't have seen them otherwise. So I would say, yeah, if you can get those opportunities through something that you love, dude, jump at it, man. Who doesn't want to go to see other places? Yeah. For not only to get paid to do what you love. That's a win-win. Just got to get paid.
Well, I mean, you got to put gas in your bike, right? I mean, they don't just come for free. Speaking of free, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to thank our sponsor. You can get it at every water fountain you want. You can get it at any restaurant. You just put your plastic cup there or your glass, and you get this water right here. It's sponsored by this free water right here. Again, you can go to the water hose. You can go to the water fountain. Or you can just wait for the rain, go to Yosemite, and just put your cup there, put your glass there, and just let it rain in there. I want to thank our sponsors ahead of time. So being that said, I know your jacket, I know your bike looks just covered like a flag. And that's a good look. I really like that. So what sponsor patch there's your freebie right here. What sponsor patch would you like to put on your bike, on your jacket? There has to be a sponsor or a company that you look at and says, man, I want them.
So usually what you're saying about it, I would want a really big sponsor. So
okay, who is that?
Probably, Yamaha.
Boom,
but
there it is there.
I'm not riding Yamaha, so I won't get a sponsorship for Yamaha.
Okay, so you want them to sponsor what, your tires or something, not your bike, or what is it? Well, okay, you mean you would not ride Yamaha, or you're not riding Yamaha right now?
He'd have to be riding a current Yamaha in order for that company to look at him and say, we'd sponsor you because you ride Yamaha. So
basically, they can say something like, the way you ride, try our bike.
Try our bike, yeah, exactly. That's what you would be shooting for. That's the kind of sponsorship you'd be shooting for with them.
And that's with boxing gloves. Hey, you're using Everlast. Why don't you try using Reyes gloves? Or why don't you try using a certain other glove, a different MMA glove, from one glove to another, Because even Adidas makes gloves now.
Really just takes a video. In this day, you just compile a video of all that butt cam bike stuff we saw, where it was following you while you're wearing the tennis stuff.
I want to know. I want to stay up to date. I want a phone call when you sign with Yamaha. When they come on, or they come on as a sponsor.
You're gonna get a phone call, Rich. You're not gonna believe what happened.
He said, "Dude, check this out, man. They saw the podcast, the hottest podcast in the Central Valley, and now check this out."
Yamaha says they are in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just compile a bunch of your videos, wins, just footage of you and your team, and that's what you just make one version of it and just literally send it to all of them with the same thing. Hey, here's our team. Here's what we do. We'd love to be a part of your company. Here's where we think you can help. And you send them with a list of things that your sponsorship would help us cover. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
we're looking for someone to pay for tires. We're looking for someone to pay for travel with gas, trailer, hotel, team gear. All our gear's getting a little old. Everyone wants to re-up their dues to the same color. We all want to wear the same color gear. We found a set that's going to sell them to us from, I don't know, pick a name. I know race cars, so like Greddy Automotive sells body kits. It'd be like, Greddy wants to make our
exactly.
body, all our suits the same. Here's what they,
Absolutely.
things like that. And
Absolutely.
it's like college applications. You just send them to all the companies that you'd like to work with, and it's like hitting on chicks at a bar, bro. You hit on like enough of them, one of them's bound to like at least say yes, you can buy me a drink, and at least talk to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one of them's willing to talk to you. At that point, it's on you. You can either make them interested or not based on your personality.
Then you
It's the
can let
same
them ride
thing.
your bike.
Yeah, exactly. Just walk
give 'em
around,
a
no
ride.
bike. Just have the helmet, like Dan Cook
Yeah.
said. Just have the helmet, be like, walk
Or
out and be
just-
like,
or just-
oh, someone stole my bike.
Yeah,
Oh,
or just give them a ride somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just send them out en masse. Just tell them what you're looking for the team or individually, whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then you just send them out to companies like Yamaha and stuff. And I'm sure you're going to get back later to say, hey, we love the video. We noticed you weren't riding a Yamaha at all. We do have a policy about only sponsoring riders that ride Yamaha. So we might suggest you pick this bike or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, maybe you shoot back an email that says, hey, I'm glad you said that. What kind of deal can you give me on? I've got a sponsor that's willing to buy my next bike. What kind of a deal can you give me on it? Because at that point, they're making a sale. They're bringing you over to the team, and you get on a Yamaha bike, which is they already like your skill. They just want to see it on their bike, and they can't really do that. It's corporate stuff. It gets real confusing. Like, you're not really using our product already, so it's kind of hard for us to bring you over. I'm not sure what that industry is like, but that's what it sounds like as far as the big dogs are concerned. It'd be no different than you saying, oh, you're going to fight in the UFC. Great. Ditch all your sponsors. You get Reebok and Monster now. That's it. It'd be the same thing. You got to take accordingly what they offer you. So.
Yeah.
Man, we can go on for hours about this, man. I'm just telling you,
We can.
it's the business model for fighting and how to brand. Like Conor took it and ran with it and things like that. Like how to do it successfully in MMA is just a business model applied to.
He didn't care about a community.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
He
yeah,
didn't care about a community.
Depends on what your
He
idea
made
of
his
care
own.
is.
He made his own community.
Made his own babies.
Yeah, yeah, he did that. He did that too. I'm going to talk more about our guys that were very successful in combate. Jesus Avalos.
Avalos,
Yeah,
we
break
need
down
to
his
bring him
fight,
up.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, just it's really hard. I really didn't have time to take notes on him. It's hard to break them down.
Oh,
It
that's
was
why
just-
you were coming back from the interview.
Yeah,
Is that what it
we were
was?
I didn't get the time to break down the fights. We were coming back, but I did know that he won. It was like I said, dude, it was night of the rear naked chokes. It seemed everybody was just getting stretched out, and then just getting choked in. I mean, I don't know if they're not drilling, and that's where the drilling comes in.
Yeah.
That's where I tell you guys. A lot of guys say, "Oh, okay, take my back or whatever." It's a rarity where I come across teams, and I've trained.
Well,
with teams
actually,
that do that.
those are the words that came out of Avalos' mouth. He said he was telling his opponent, "Okay, right now you're going to give me your back.
Yeah.
Keep talking." He said, "You're going to give me your back in a little bit."
Yeah, because he knew at that point that he had just owned him. He knew that on the ground he was just going to do what he wanted. It's just a matter of time. You make the mistake because you're going to make the mistake.
Stillmatic is what he calls himself.
Yeah.
Stillmatic. I like that. I love that.
Dude's
I love
crazy.
that.
We got to bring him back on and talk
Oh,
about
absolutely.
that too.
So what about, actually, I want to bring back the whole show. We got to rock that. There's a lot of them I want to bring back and recap. I'm talking about J.C. Lamas.
Lamas, yeah, that guy's dynamite, dude. That guy he's a firecracker. He is
is.
very passionate. He's very outspoken. He's
Promotes
one of,
himself.
Yeah, he's one of Eha's guys. Those guys are serious. They're old school Valley
He walks in and
man.
says, "The king is back."
Yeah, dude.
The king is back.
We had a pretty dominant performance too. It was just, crush him. That was his whole game plan. Crush
Talk
him.
to us about when he was introduced. And what he did when he was introduced.
Dude, okay, so all I can say about that is that's risky. You do some capoeira. I mean, he looked like somebody was button mashing on Eddie Gordo for Tekken. Like he was just jumping and spinning around. So to have him do that before a fight is a ballsy. But I would say risky. If I was the coach, I would be like, "Stop doing that, please. You're gonna land wrong, or you're gonna fuck it up. Sorry, or you're gonna mess it up." And I've really tried to not drop F-bombs in front of the kid.
Yeah.
But
Okay, yeah,
you're
but
gonna
you
mess
did
that
against
up.
Jenna, and she's 11.
Yeah,
okay,
well,
it's all good.
she's a boxer. It's,
She's a fighter.
she's
She
a
hears it all
fighter.
the
She
time.
probably hears that stuff twice a day at the
Yeah.
gym.
Huh.
But to see him do that, it's very entertainment-esque. It's very branding.
Yeah.
I mean, you do that before every fight, yeah. Problem is once you do it once, people are going to expect you to do it before every fight. You start doing it
Yes.
before every fight, you now start increasing the risk of when you're going to blow it and you're
Yes.
going to hurt yourself.
Yes.
Could you imagine doing that in the ring before the fight and you blow your knee out or you roll your ankle and all of a sudden you're like, oh, dude, my knee.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay, thank you.
You're
and
never.
you're in a tournament. Thank you.
Dude.
Yeah.
God forbid it's a pay-per-view or something silly. But I mean, hey, he's exciting, he's charismatic, he has a personality, he has a character that he wants people to see, and that was part of that character. So I'm not saying he shouldn't, but if I were the coach, I would be like, please stop. It would just concern me.
That was pretty gutsy.
I would do it. It blew me away when I saw it. He did like this capoeira spin in like midair, somersault sideways, where before a fight they go, you know, so-and-so, and he comes out, just raises his hand, whatever. Go. This dude just came out and did, like I said, this Tekken jump move where I'm just like, oh, dude, if you mess that up right now before the fight, you're going to feel so stupid. Like, it'd be like if, it'd be like if you tried popping wheelies before the race and you popped the wheelie and boom, and you rolled your bike and broke the handlebar or something, and you're like,
you know, some people give like a victory lap or something, a little victory dance or something. You do it after the fight, after you've won. He did it during his introduction.
It was ballsy. I'll give him that. It was ballsy, but I would not recommend it.
And what about, man, Paul Elizondo, man? I mean,
dude,
he looked very impressive.
Very impressive.
He got the submission with what, 2 seconds left? We were talking about
the first
on
round.
The show yesterday.
But he was picking his shots the whole fight. He had the good range distant early. Once you get range early, we would say, I've got a good beat on the guy ahead of me. He leans slow to his left versus when he's going to his right. My next chance to pass him is on a left turn. The same thing to I found my range early. I know how far I can punch and hit him without him hitting me. So now I can know, okay, I'm far enough, bam. And he'll just barely come out of range. So he found his range early. Dude, there was like 2, maybe 3 seconds at most left in that round. He just squeezed. Was it like 2 seconds left? Yeah, dude, it was like, left. I thought for sure. I was already.
Oh, there he is right there. Oh, that's a great shot.
Crank the hell out of that, dude. He's got him stretched out, hips in. He's not only are his hips in, but his hips are high up on the mid back of his opponent. Yeah. That makes it so much harder to get your chest back down and start to get your knees, you know, to the side or under you. But dude, it wasn't even a full neck. He just neck cranked on that thing, squeezed it, cut it off.
He did.
2 seconds left. I thought that round was over. I was already starting my Instagram video for that end of that round update. Like, I was already starting it. I was like, all right, guys, so this round's been a lot of this and that. And then he finishes them. It's like, wait, hold on. How am I going to do a recap on the round? You just finished them. That's it. Recap of the fight. Rear naked choke. First round.
And he looked good.
2 seconds.
He looked good.
No, he looked really good. And I think it's going to just lead to better things.
He continues to improve definitely, and just climb that scale that he needs to climb, because his opponent was no joke. It wasn't just handed to him, but he stepped up to the level of competition.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. Combate's building a brand, they're building a market, they're building a roster. They're in that stage where they're trying to build fighters right now.
Can you imagine to be a MMA fighter in Fresno and Combate just comes flying by and just gives you the exposure that you need?
Oh, yeah, dude.
It gives you an opportunity to make a name for yourself and be a part of a class act brand. I mean, Eframowitz is doing a great job.
Yeah, sweet job.
He is doing a great job.
With that jersey we saw, he's already cross-marketing. That's smart.
That's very smart,
but like
especially
I said,
in this area.
That shirt for the test area is
they need all the fighters need to come in with that.
Yeah. They really should. Mike, if you're watching,
yes,
they really should. They really should all have their own jersey for the organization that they're fighting for. Yeah, I just don't want people to try to think that they're going down the same road to PFL, because that's not what they're doing. It's not a fight league. It's just, these are our fighters. They have Reebok with UFC on it. We have soccer jerseys with our Combates on it. That's our cross promotion. That's our brand. Yeah. And that's, they know their market, and that's really all there is to it. So to see them tested, that's why I tell fighters in the area that are going to fight for them, this is them expanding right now. Is a time to get wins in with them, get exposure with them, get on their good side, because they're going to pick who they want to put on TV. Just because they're going to. That's how it works.
Exactly. And I want to talk about this, and it could be sensitive, but as you know, it's part of the sport. And I'm talking about Zoila Frosto. And to my opinion, she was fighting a very smart fight, keeping her distance at the beginning, and she just got caught. She got caught.
I wouldn't even really say I wouldn't even really categorize. I talked to her about this.
Okay.
Excuse me. I wouldn't really categorize it as getting caught. She was implementing her game plan. The game plan was keep her at a distance, don't let her get close, and just snap her with lefts and bang her with rights. Like, that was it. Simple game plan. And it was literally working. Like, that's all Zoila was doing, was just snapping.
She was taking her leg off, man.
Yeah, she was just doing everything. The chick gambled. Cordoba, she gambled. She came in face down, arms out. She could have took an uppercut or just a jump knee.
Or a knee, yeah.
She literally gambled, saying, I'm not going to outstrike her, and my game plan's not going to work if I don't get close. Because her strength is judo. We know this. That's her strength. Yeah. So to see her get in close and to work her advantage and get that hip toss in, not only get the hip toss, but land inside control and immediately attack the key lock, that is a planned attack. That's a planned move. That's a setup of structures. If
that was a game plan she had in place.
Exactly. Okay. It's no different than if Zoila said, right, left, head kick, done, good night. No different. It's no different. So she
in
knew
the
she was going to do
in
it.
the opening seconds, opening moments of the fight, it looked like it was going to go that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It really did.
Those
It was
snap
no
rights-
secret that Zoila was trying to soften her up with the kicks and then land that big right hand.
I was even saying it. It's just a matter of time before one of those right hands landed, and that was going to be the good night button. There wasn't going to be a caught her once good.
No.
Ooh, no, it was
No.
going to be she's going to land that right.
No, it was
and
coming
that's
out,
gonna be
too.
it. So, if she had thrown a hook or a head kick and slept Zoila or something, that's getting caught.
Okay.
You're getting caught by something that your opponent is, as a fighter, has the potential to throw, but that's not what their strength is.
Yeah, I didn't mean it caught as a strike,
but that's what-
but caught it out of her element into her game. Yes.
But that's what everyone's going to look at it is, oh, they got caught. And that's what I want to try to educate some people on. That's not really getting caught. This was, she threw her, landed in side control, and immediately went for that key lock. That was drilled. That was practiced. That was planned. That was, as soon as you get your goddamn hands on her, hip toss, right to side control, and you're going for it. That was planned. So that's not, you just lost to their game plan. That's all. They implemented their game plan, and she gambled to do it too.
Yeah.
She could have got knocked the hell out getting in like that, but she gambled, and it paid off. That's all it was. It's her game
So
plan.
how
is
do you
what won.
recover from a fighter when you know you've done everything you can do, and this sport does this to you? I mean, it's part of the sport. It's easy to say that, but how do you go back and just say, you know what? I had a great weight cut. I had a great training camp. I couldn't have changed anything, and this is the
that's-
result I got.
that's the exact
How do you rebound from that?
I wouldn't say that there's nothing that could have been done. I think that when you do take a loss, you're always going to know that, well, there was obviously something better I could have done. I could have drilled the defense to that. I could have drilled a reversal. Like, there's so many things I could have drilled, and I'm not saying that you didn't. That's not what I'm saying she did. I'm saying that when you look at a loss, you can never look at it and say, I did everything I did, because their game plan won. Your job was to stop their game plan. So, but she's in the perfect scenario of, like I said, she didn't get caught. It wasn't like some knockout that where she was like,
Right.
dude, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
This is just, okay, this is what I need to work on.
Yeah.
This is where I go from almost unbeatable to goddamn near unbeatable, is where you start to grow as a fighter. You start to expand your arsenal and really start, because you can only sharpen the same knife so many times.
Yeah, exactly.
It's sharp.
Yeah, it's sharp.
It's sharp. Your
Yeah.
stand-up is sharp.
Yeah.
Period. We all know that.
Yep.
And she's known for that. There's no
Yeah.
question that knife is sharp, dude. That's razor blade, cut your
Yeah.
blood still blue. Now is an opportunity where she's got this momentum. She's with the right organization at the right time. They want her to grow. They want her brand to grow. This isn't just, oh, this fight was like, that's it.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Zoila. No, Combate is very invested in her.
Yeah,
They
I
have,
think so.
They have a future for her, and this is just fighters lose.
Yeah.
As far as they say, Mike's going to go, no, dude, fighters lose. It's not like you got clipped 30 seconds in. Thanks for showing up and taking our money. You gave us a good fight. You clearly were trying to do your job, and that's just how that's how high-level combat fights go. So you got to sharpen more knives. That's the only way I would say is, just make sure the other knives now are sharpening, because now she's in a perfect opportunity to grow with the company, grow her brand, and all of that, even off of this loss, because this wasn't a bad loss. This was actually a really good scenario. So she can grow in brand. It's perfect spot.
Are you listening to this? Because my next question is going to be: do you have a coach? Do you have somebody that talks to you?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be you're not going to win every race. There's going to be a race that just, like I said, just slips out of your fingers, and then your coach is going to say, "Look, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to work on. This is what we were doing right until that turn, or until that movement, or that last lap." And that's when you gather yourself. That's when you learn from it. But if you continue to make the same mistake, then you really, really got to work on that part and sharpen your skills. So I'm trying to get the same message across to you. And a sport is a sport, but being competitive is being competitive. It's
a perishable skill.
Exactly. And it looks like we're out of time now, but check this out. I do want to, before we leave, I do want to ask you one last question, but I want to ask Cole one last question right here. What is it going to take to get a heavyweight division in Combate? Recruiting heavyweights. When can we get our guy out there?
I think
we're getting closer. I think we're getting closer.
Oh, after last Friday,
Yes, I think we're
think
getting
we are
closer.
super close. In
Yeah.
fact, I think like before the end of the year,
Yeah.
close that we'll see
Okay.
him in that. But
Yeah.
I think as far as Combate goes, I think their best chance to build up interest in a heavyweight division and go it would be a tournament.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
say have like I don't know if you want to do it over multiple nights. I think that'd be more profitable to do over multiple nights. But Bellator's been having a success with that, and I'm not saying it's a copy. It's just that's how you do things when tournaments.
Would that be a tournament tour? Like, okay, we're stop in Fresno.
Our
next stop is going to be in San Jose.
We were kind of
and then
talking
we're
about that. We were talking about that with Mikey that night about that. So we were talking about it last week actually with him about you just stretch it out. You make it a production. It's
like Bellator does.
Different spot. Yeah, you go from spot to spot, and it's just that on this card we're having a fight card. 2 of these fights tonight, though, are going to be part of our Grand Prix, and that's just whatever they want to call it. But you stretch it out over multiple shows. You have a tournament spot on each show, and that all leads back to maybe Anaheim or wherever, or LA or Fresno or wherever they want to do their finals. And that's it. That's how I think you would build, because you're going to build continuing interest in the heavyweight division that way. If you just try to start throwing heavyweights down, now granted, you're going to have a heavyweight fight that's already a followed fighter. You're going to have that. Those two guys really fit the bill as far as sparking the might that lights the heavyweight division roster for that organization. I think those 2 guys, and we know who we're talking about, I think those 2 guys are perfect for lighting that, because now everyone's going to want in that heavyweight division that's not signed. Because it's going to be a competitive heavyweight division where it's going to be like, okay, that's a fight I want to see, because that's really going to answer some questions.
I got a text message that we'll talk about off camera, and that we're going to, it's going to get exciting. The Fighter's Voice is going to be exciting. Very exciting.
It'll be fun.
That's
what I'm saying. We'll see him before the end of the year.
Yes, we got some big names coming up. And this is what I'm going to do for you, my man. And I normally don't. I'm not the guy that says, hey, do you have any extra tickets for a certain somebody? But the next time Combate Americas comes to Fresno, I'm going to ask for some tickets for you and your father. I want you guys to check it out. So you'll know, like, oh, my gosh. Look beyond the brutalness and look at the sport, look at the class, and most of all, look at the sport. And I'm sure
you'll see the community in there.
Yeah, you'll see You'll see the difference. It's just not a bunch of guys going all crazy that have no skill set. They got skill set, they got discipline, and they know when to turn it on. And they're not a community. And you'll get that. You'll get. I mean, they all shake hands. They respect each other after the sport. They would shake each other's hands. They're cordial. But during that time, they're not friends right now. Yeah, they're dealing with money. They're dealing with
wins and money, man.
Wins. So I don't want to just try to lecture at you. I want you to see it firsthand. I want to put you in a seat, you and your dad, where you're sitting there watching and going, oh, wow, man, this is kind of cool. I'm hooked now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But before we let you go, we do got to find out what current sponsors do you have? What websites can people go to follow the team? Find out when your next race is, because they may say, "Oh, dude, I live like."
I want to check them out of your races in Fresno.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like where they can follow you and your team, know when your races are, know where they are, results, crap, follow sponsors, all that stuff. Where they find that?
So you could check everything out on Facebook. So it'll be at Cali Shine Racing. We're always up to date. We always post our sponsors.
Okay, so Cali Shine Racing is a more up to date one. Do you guys have an Instagram?
Yes, we do.
Oh, wow, it's got that jacket. Oh, you know what? It's missing a patch, though, man.
It is missing one right there in that top left.
Yeah, you see this patch right here? Yeah, we got to put that thing there, man.
Yeah, we can put it on there.
Yeah, we got to make that happen.
So do you have any current sponsors that are sponsoring the team at all that you want to give an opportunity to
So everything will be on my suit. I'm sure you guys would know. Okay.
So who's TC Fresh Meat?
TC Fresh Meat, it's a supermarket. It's like a mall supermarket that they sponsored us too.
Where are they at?
In Fresno.
Okay, so it's a Mong supermarket that you can shop at here in Fresno. Yeah. What part of town?
I think it's down south.
Oh man, Dad, Dad, I'm putting him on the hot seat. Okay, and then below that, who's Eternal? What's that?
Eternal is
no internet service here. No, just for me. I'm trying to sense. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I sent you something.
Actually, Eternal is. I forgot what company they were.
Oh, you're killing me, kid. Okay, let's try the next one. Who's Law Tigers?
Law Tigers is.
I feel like we're playing Jeopardy.
Yeah,
Law Tigers is the motorcycle lawyer.
Okay, so, cool. Oh, he rides and he's a lawyer. Okay, he's got offices in town. He has a practice in town.
Actually, Law Tigers it's a company throughout the United States.
Oh, so it's like lawyers for riders. Okay, cool. And then what is that? PCP?
PCP Motorsports is a motorcycle dealership in Sacramento.
What's PCP stand for? For those listening and watching, what does PCP stand for?
I'm not sure.
Man, that's 2 strikes. Dad, where are you at?
That's 2 on you.
Okay, so like I said, this is a perfect example. You've got to be invested. You've got to know your sponsors. I mean, because if I were a couple of those guys and I heard my answer was, I don't know, I'd be like, you mean to tell me, dude, you're on TV and you didn't know what to say? Like, how does my investment in you get me return on my dollar? Things like that.
Exactly. And okay, so when they see the Fighter's Voice patch on there and they ask you, what is that? Just say the hottest podcasts in the Central Valley.
Okay.
That's simple, man.
Yeah, that's simple.
It is. It is simple.
He just wants to ride bikes.
It is.
Bless
it
this
is.
kid.
It is simple. It is simple. And you know what? That sponsor right there is blowing up. I see the hottest sponsor on there right now, man. Mad Talk TV. That's what's up right there. Boom. Yeah, raise it up right there. That is the fattest sponsor I see now. And that just gets my attention. You know what I mean? I just want to go up to that button and just push it right there. You know what I mean? Just boom. So we got room for the Fighter's Voice patch there, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you do race in Fresno, I don't want to hear, oh, I didn't tell you, or oh, you didn't know. Get a hold of us, man, because I don't want to be one of those that say, oh, yeah, we'll go check you out, and we never do. I don't say that just for viewership. I don't say that just to sound nice. I always give it my best, unless I got to do something or I'm scheduled that day to interview somebody or ring announce or do any of that stuff, or Cole got to go out of town and do something. I want to make sure we go down there and cover that. I think that'd be cool, because as soon as you get off your bike and take that helmet off, I'm gonna say, hey, what exactly is going through your mind? Like, oh man, dude, you were
so
right,
excited,
man.
or man, I'm so jazzed.
You were right, dude. It's not a damn community.
He tried to put me in the wall twice.
Yeah.
Where's my dad at?
These bastards are trying to hurt me.
Right?
It's a jungle out there. Damn, where's Cole at? Right? No, I want to get that sound bite, that fresh sound bite, right when you get off the bike, man. And that stuff right there is good. It's real and it's fresh, man. Right? So, hey, do we got that post right there with our hats? Because I want to sell that right there. Let's pop it up right there. Again, the Fighter's Voice hats right there, they're on sale right now. They're $20 a piece. You could either get a gray one for $20 or a black one for $20, or you can buy both of them for $40, man. Buy one, hey, buy one for your dad, your pop, your compa, whatever you want to call him or her. If it's a beautiful woman, she can fold the bill, pop her ponytail out, boom, and they're selling. I already got 7 already sold, man. They're already done. And we just got the order. I had to go pick some up actually today. I had to meet Larry today.
Nice.
Larry from Dying Breed.
Dying
What's
Breed,
up, my
yeah.
man? Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not trying to get rich out there, man. We're just trying to promote the show, man. Without no show, there's no Aiden Tao, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just got to ask you this, and I want to see if I educated you right. What is the hottest podcast in the Central Valley?
The Fighter's Voice.
The only voice that matters. We're simply knocking out the competition and beating them in a race.
Yep.
How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, so how do we contact you again, man? You personally, to build up your Instagram. We want to build up your portfolio. I know you got your team, but we want to follow the Tao Man.
You could find me on Instagram and Facebook at a.tao03 on
Okay.
Instagram, and Facebook would be Aiden Tao.
There you go. In the back of your shirt, we don't throw in the towel. You know what I mean? A little hook
Yeah.
to that. Yeah, that's
like
what's
that.
up, man. Yeah, that's what's up. We'll talk business later on. Cole, man, what could we expect, man?
That's it. We've got 559 coming up in Visalia soon, don't we?
We got a promotion coming up in Visalia.
Yeah.
We got an amateur promotion coming up in Visalia.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Do
we
we?
do. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, we do. We do. We do.
Gotta try.
Yeah. We got to try.
And that's about it. Cyborg kind of shot herself in the foot.
What happened there? Tell us real quick.
Her editing staff shot her in the foot. They edited some footage and made it seem like some stuff that Dana said that turned out Dana did not say, and
That's not cool, man. It's
not cool. I
That's
mean,
when people get fired.
that's well. I mean, it's just you're just not going to work with her anymore. But that does make you a hard product to sign on other organizations, because now they're going to be like, I don't want that headache. I'm good.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Be-
And I want to
be
see
a
that
free agent.
and I want to see that rematch.
Yeah,
And
good
it doesn't
luck.
look like we're
At
not
this
going to
point,
see
not
it.
anytime soon.
No. And what we did is, as fans, fans lost out on that.
Yeah, they did. The
No,
fans
they
are the
really
ones that
did.
lose out.
They
Yeah.
really did, because a lot of people think that was a fluke. I don't
Yeah.
think it was a
They
fluke.
are going to get robbed of the opportunity.
I like the Lioness.
Hey, maybe they'll fight in the
I like
street
her a
somewhere.
lot.
Maybe we can get them to do a street fight.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for viewing in. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for just paying attention to what we say and what we do. Today was a challenge. It was actually a challenge for myself and for Cole Escovedo. We wanted to make it work, but again, we are the definition of you do not need a mouthpiece or boxing glove or MMA gloves to be on the Fighter's Voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice. You don't have to be in a cage or a boxing ring. At this point, even in a racetrack or racing with life. So we have the true definition of the Fighter's Voice. Hey, don't forget to follow us, www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice. Every fighter has a voice, and so do you. Next week, we got coming up, oh my gosh, the list of who's who. We got the matchmaker from Golden Boy Promotions. He's going to be calling in and joining the show. And then we got from Madera, California, the UFC Bellator MMA veteran himself, Big LeVar Johnson.
Oh, sweet.
And he has a story to tell. So he's definitely coming on Wednesday's show. He has some things to get off his chest. He has some things he needs to clear up. And most of all, he has the skill set and the and the tools, and he's just looking for the opportunity to display them. Big LeVar Johnson, we're waiting on you. It's going to be a great story. The story's not for everybody, but it is for the Fighter's Voice. Hey, I'm Rich Ortiz, your host of the Fighter's Voice. Co Escovedo, the UFC veteran, the Apache Kid himself, and the race cat, Aiden, I never throw in the towel. And it's a wrap, Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember.
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.